Hi everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to Tread Talks, where I walk on this treadmill to stay in shape while making videos for you fine people. You know, making a movie based off of real historical events is always a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you already have a story that's worth telling, but on the other, you have to overcome the fact that people already know how the story ends. You're not going to surprise them with a twist ending. And so going into Battle of the Sexes, I knew that it was about an important match toward helping women gain equality within the tennis world. In addition to that, I also knew that Billie Jean King beats Bobby Riggs. I know this because when I looked up the movie, the second entry was a direct-to-TV movie called When Billie Beat Bobby, so the element of surprise was totally gone. But despite knowing the outcome, Battle of the Sexes managed to win me over. I want to start by recognizing what a great job the casting directors did in choosing both Emma Stone and Steve Carell for their respective roles. Emma Stone brings a nervous yet confident energy to her performance, which I think is very fitting given what Billie Jean King was going through. Because not only was she fighting for equality for women on the tennis court, she was also navigating her understanding of her own sexuality and trying to figure out how to live that out in a world that still showed no compunction over casting gay people aside. Emma Stone's performance navigates that tension really well, and there's a scene in particular where it's just a scene of her crying, but it's almost like a silent monologue. She says so much without saying anything at all. On top of that, Steve Carell is about as good of a casting choice as you could have made for the role of Bobby Riggs. And I say this after having watched lots of footage of the actual person. Not only does he embody his mannerisms and his way of speaking, he also manages to make a character that would otherwise be pretty unlikable into someone that we empathize with and that we care for. I think this is actually one of Steve Carell's greatest strengths as an actor. So good job Justine Arteta and Kim Davis Wagner for these two casting decisions. Now the movie works because it's as much about their personal journeys as it is about the big match. In fact, one of the interesting things that the script does is draw out some parallels between Billie and Bobby. Fundamentally, they are both hustlers. They are people who try whatever they can to bring about what they want. Billie is unhappy with unequal pay for women in tennis, and so she leads a boycott that eventually leads to more equitable pay for women. Bobby is unhappy with his steady office job, and so he figures out the Battle of the Sexes as his next big hustle. Another parallel that really helps the movie work is that neither character is painted as either saint or sinner. You have kindness followed by deceit. You have righteous action followed by selfish betrayal. And so the fact that neither of them is presented as fully perfect or fully flawed helps us to care about them more. To the point where I was surprised that I cared as much about Bobby in that final match, especially because I knew that he loses. I also appreciated how the director allowed for certain scenes to linger and to play out more slowly. I think the temptation is often to just move on to the next scene to keep the momentum going. But there are certain instances where we really benefit from being inside Billie Jean King's head, and we get that opportunity when the director allowed those scenes to play out slowly. Now, just to manage expectations, this isn't some sort of cinematic masterpiece. You're not going to come away having been wowed by the artistic vision you saw dance before your eyes. And it also isn't perfect. It doesn't get everything right. It still falls into the trope that you see so often in these based on a true story movies where you have one-dimensional antagonists whose lines are just a little bit too on the nose and nefarious. And I would have also cast someone different or eliminated the role altogether that Fred Armisen plays. It's not that he's bad, he's actually pretty subdued. He doesn't say much, but even in his deadpan face, it looks like there's something that's supposed to be funny. And Bobby Riggs is already goofy enough. With Fred Armisen there, it just goes a little bit too far. But really, these are nitpicks. In the end, you're touched by the story because you're touched by the characters playing out their part in history. And yes, this is based on a true historical event, and that gives it automatically additional weight and meaning. But ultimately, it's these interesting, flawed, endearing people that make it a movie worth watching. And that's why I give Battle of the Sexes 3.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so that was Battle of the Sexes. And now I want to do something a little bit different because normally I ask you a question. Today I'm answering a question. Yes, I really am walking on a treadmill. In fact, I can raise the speed. And this is the speed at which I normally walk when I'm editing the videos. It's a little bit too fast to actually film this way, but this is what I'm doing while I'm creating everything that you're seeing from me. So yes, I am really walking on a treadmill. Either that or I'm a really good pretend walker, and I don't know why that would be a skill that anyone would have. But anyways, if you like this video and you want to keep up with my content, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and it would be great if you were a part of that group. And hit the little bell icon to be notified when a new video goes up. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.